Yes.
Shall we start?
Yes.
Good evening. Hare Krishna. I think there is some disturbance.
Yeah, I
Warm
muted.
welcome to. Okay. Warm welcome to all of you on this auspicious occasion of Raksha Bandhan and Balram Jayanti. We are starting the second chapter of Gita, which is titled by Srila Prabhupada as Contents of Gita Summarized. If you read and if you go through this chapter, you will understand the entire Gita in summary. That's why he has titled this as Contents of Gita Summarized. The Sanskrit name for this is Sankya Yoga. As we immerse ourselves in the learning of Gita wisdom, let me start by paying. No, okay. First, let me give you a brief look of the agenda. First is, as usual, we go through the verses, and I have a timeline limit for myself. And then we want to make this immersive learning. This is not just about us speaking, it's also about you reflecting and sharing what is the self learning that I can take back after listening to these 10 verses of Gita. And the last 5 minutes, I will summarize what are the learning that come to my mind from these 10 verses. So we want this to be a participative session, and we also want this to be a reflective session where we always think, if I were to be Arjuna, and if Arjuna has taken this as learnings, what are the learnings I can take back home and improve myself in my life? As before I start, I have to offer obeisances to my Guru Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and my Shiksha Guru, Gauravilas Prabhuji. And I must say that we must use technology in the service of the Lord. These are the golden words from Srila Prabhupada. Now, I am sitting in Silicon Valley and I have used ChatGPT, which is the artificial intelligence, to generate a few images for my session. So I offer that also in their service. And I feel good about it because our sessions can become even more interesting by using technology. So, as Prabhuji shared with us last class, we are all participants, we are passengers in the Goloka Express. We are at the station where we have just finished Arjuna Vishada Yoga. That is chapter 1. We are going into chapter 2 now. What is summary we studied in chapter 1? Very brief overview. Observing the army's Sainya Niriksha Yoga. We studied about Duryodhana's fear and diplomacy. Duryodhana points out to various warriors both on the Pandava side and Kaurava side. Bhishma blows the conch and declares the war open. Krishna, Arjuna blow their conches to respond and say, and that really created a fear in the heart of all Kauravas. This was the first part, observing the army, Sainya Niriksha Yoga. We then came to the second part, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, where Arjuna has a change of heart and he offers 5 reasons to Krishna why I don't want to fight. First one is compassion. Second one is lack of enjoyment. Third one is fear of sinful reactions. And fourth one is destruction of family. We have gone through all the 4 reasons in detail. What we are going to start, what we are going to embark on the journey is today looking at Arjuna's fifth decision, why I don't want to fight. And that is indecision that comes in verse 2.6. Then Arjuna surrenders to Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna then reveals the transcendental knowledge. So, in a way, this is a milestone chapter. If you listen to this chapter carefully, we have understood the essence of Gita. That's what Srila Prabhupada meant by saying contents of Gita summarized. That is, the essence of Gita will be known if you study this chapter. What is the acronym of this chapter? It is titled as Gita. I'll quickly show you. G stands for Guru. The first 10 verses that we are studying today, where in the first 3 verses, Krishna chastises Arjuna. Krishna is responding to all the reasons that Arjuna has given. In the next 3 verses, Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, I have still so many doubts and confusion. Why don't you clarify that to me? And by saying that, he surrenders to Krishna. That's the most important milestone. There are only two places in Gita where Arjuna surrenders to Krishna. This is first time it happens in second chapter and then in the 18th chapter. So G stands for Guru. That's what we are covering today. I stands for identity. Most of us have this question, Brahma Jigyasa. Who are we? Krishna helps Arjuna understand who is he? Why is he getting worked up by all these material reasons? He says, move away from your material identity to something beyond. And that's what we are going to discover in the coming classes. Then there are two duties for any jiva who is born in this world. One is spiritual swadharma, another is material swadharma. That is called two duties. And then A, Atmarama. We have to be self-realized. We must work towards self-realization. It doesn't happen on its own. We must make efforts to that. This is Gita for you. The second chapter is also acronym is Gita. Now, quickly looking at this chapter, this is one of the biggest chapters of Gita. So it's going to be a race against time, cover the verses, and also have a good participative learning session. So we will be doing the first session today, first verses 1 to 10, Arjuna further doubt, and then he surrenders to Krishna. We will go through this second, third, fourth, and fifth sections in the coming classes. I don't want to spend time on these because we have a sharp agenda to complete today. So with this, now let's look at what is the connection between chapter 1 and chapter 2. They are intricately interwoven, interrelated. In chapter 1, we saw Sanjay concludes Arjuna is not inclined to fight. That actually made Dhritarashtra joyful. In his mind, he thought, oh, now with Arjuna, the great warrior, putting his bow and arrow down, maybe Pandavas are having a rethink. They may renounce the kingdom, walk away from the war. This is what was going on in Dhritarashtra's mind. Sanjaya immediately senses this and he says, oh, Dhritarashtra, please do not have this false hope. It is Krishna who is there as Sarthi of Arjuna, and he will inspire Arjuna to fight. And we must see how Krishna takes this challenge of Arjuna. No, he was completely demotivated. He was in tears, but Krishna is able to inspire him. We see the initial start of how Krishna starts going about this inspirational journey. With that, quick recap. We are getting into the chapter 2, first verse of the day. Sanjaya Uvacha Tam Tatha Krupaya Vistam Ashrupurna Kulekshanam Visidantam Idam Vakyam Uvacha Madhusudanaha. So this is Sanjaya continues from the last chapter for 46 verse where we ended last chapter. Now he continues. So ending of first chapter and beginning of first chapter is by Sanjaya. Whenever you see Sanjaya Uvacha, what happens is the Gita shifts from action to narration. So from 1.46 to 2.1, we are in the narration mode where Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra what is happening on the battlefield. What did Arjuna say in the last verse of this first chapter? He says, Visrujya Shasharam Chapam Toka Samvigna Manasaha. He says, I am unable to fight. I can't face my relatives. So I'm putting my bow and arrow down, my Gandiva down. Now, this is very shocking, surprising. It's like if you're reading a novel, the hero suddenly says, I don't want to fight. So this is the cliffhanger moment of Gita. What is going to happen next? That's the interest for all of us. Let's see what happens. Now here he says, Arjuna is anguished and Sanjaya is describing it. And he says, Tam tata krupaya vistam. Arjuna is overwhelmed by intense distress. What is Krupaya wisdom? Intense distress. Ashru Purna Kulekshanam. This word Ashru has two parts. Ashru means tears and Ikinam means eyes. So Arjuna's eyes are overflowing with tears. He is overcome by weakness caused by compassion. Vichidantam idam vakyam. His lamentation increased as he realized there is no easy way out of the situation. And imagine all this is happening on the battlefield. Vacha Madhusudana. Now Sanjaya adds this very powerful line. It looked very simple, but no, it is not simple. He is telling Dhritarashtra, if you have had any hope that Arjuna is going to continue in this situation of despondency, you are sadly mistaken. And the reason I say that is Madhusudana is sitting in his chariot as charioteer. That's the way Sanjaya builds the suspense as to how Arjuna is now going to change himself slowly but steadily. So this same words was used by Krishna, Arjuna. Krupaya paryavisto visidam idam abravit. So in 1.27, we saw the same two lines where Arjuna is lamenting as to how can I fight. So let's go to the translation. Now, having gone line by line, I'll just summarize. Sanjaya says, seeing Arjuna full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna, spoke the following word. Now, if I were to give you a summary of this verse, what is happening to Arjuna? Arjuna is going through deep emotional turmoil. He is overwhelmed by compassion. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport says, this is not what we should be really suffering if we understand the real purpose of life. What is happening to Arjuna? Material compassion, lamentation, tears. We have seen this, and many times in life we also face this situation. Srila Prabhupada gives a very, very strong analogy in this verse. He says, if you have compassion for the body, it is like saving the dress of a drowning man. Can you ever save a man who is drowning in deep water by trying to pull at his breast? No. You have to pull him up by his hands. So he says, trying to have compassion where it is not required is just like saving the dress of a drowning man. And he says, whoever laments for outward dress, when he says outward dress, this material body that all of us are blessed with is, it's a dress. That's not us truly. It's just a material body. And he says, anyone who laments for this outward dress and so intensely, he is called a Shudra. What is the purpose of life? As we go ahead, we will see is self-realization. We should understand who we are. And this chapter and the entire Gita is trying to help us with that. It says, work without attachment. Then you will have no sorrow, no cause for feeling despondent or saying that I don't want to do my duty. This is where the foundation of learning Gita starts. Let's look at the next verse, a very important verse. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Kutasvakashmalam idam Visime Samupastitam Anaryajustam Asavargyam Kirtikaram Arjuna. Now, in this verse, Krishna, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Why is Krishna called Bhagavan? We will see in this verse. Very important understanding. And incidentally, for people who are very interested in knowing the statistics of Gita, Bhagavan Uvacha has been used 28 times in the entire Gita. And this is the first where Krishna is described as Bhagavan. And every word in Gita is not there just because it should be there. It has a deep meaning, and we will see what this is. But first, we will see the word, and then in the next slide, I will describe to you why Krishna is called Sri Bhagavan. Kutasvakashmalam idam. Hmm. Krishna is asking, where has this impurities come from? Why are you feeling so despondent? Why are you so depressed? Why are your eyes full of tears? Why are you overcome by indecisiveness? I find you to be fearful. You are tearful. For what? This is unexpected. And I must say, this does not visit you at all. In fact, it is said we must do our duty before having compassion. And this is not because the scriptures say it. There is a nice instance in Ramayana where Ravana attacks Lakshmana fiercely, and Lakshmana falls unconscious on the battlefield. Rama is next to him. Rama doesn't say, "Oh, my brother is down, and now I must look at him with compassion and nurse him back to health." He says, "I have to do my duty first. And what is my duty? I'm in the battlefield. I'm facing Ravana, and he has injured my brother. I have to put him down." And he fights so fiercely with Ravana, he shoos him away from the battlefield. And then he looks at Lakshmana and nurses him back to health. So we should always understand compassion is important, but duty is even more important. Then he says, Vitame samupastitam. This is not expected out of you, Arjuna. Please remember, anaryajustam aswargyam. An Aryan is one who follows the scriptures, who follows the Vedic culture. You are, in spite of being a Kshatriya, you are behaving like an Anarya. Anarya means you are not following the scriptures. Kashmalam. It is impurities. It is un-Aryan like behavior from you, O Arjuna. What does this lead to? Aswargyam. If you continue with this behavior, you are not going to be blessed with higher destination in next life. It will not take you to Swarga. Please understand. Kirtikaram Arjuna. They lead not to higher planets, but just to infamy. You will be known as a coward if you continue behaving like a warrior who is unable to face the opposite army who's standing in front of you. It will mark you as a coward for times to come. Buck up. That's the kind of message that Krishna is trying to give to Lord Krishna. Just as Arjuna, let's look at the complete translation so that it gives you the full picture. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Vacha, said, "My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities, let me put laser pointer, come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to infamy." This is how the dialogue happens between Krishna and Arjuna. And now we will see what is the importance of Bhagavan Vacha. Why does Sanjaya, why does Vyasdeva call Krishna as Bhagavan? We all know, we have been saying this, Lord Krishna is the absolute truth. There is no one above him. He is the main creator, maintainer, and destroyer. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. That's the reason why he is called as Bhagavan. What is this Bhagavan? It is defined in Srimad Bhagavatam in 1.2.11. It says, Vadanti tat tattva vidas, tattvam yagnanam advayam, brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwan iti sabdyate. So he is the Supreme Lord who has three forms. What are those? Brahmeti, Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti that we all refer to. Srila Prabhupada says the analogy to understand about the Lord is look at the sun. When you see sunshine, that is Brahma Jyoti, that is the impersonal form of the Lord. Next, Paramatma, the same sun also has a surface. And how do we understand the surface? The analogy says he is present in all of us, in our bodies. Every jiva, animal, human, fish, bird, he is present in us as Paramatma. So this is truth is the sunshine is true, the sun's surface is true. So similarly, Brahman is true, Paramatma is true, and Bhagwan. This is the personal realization. Who Worship him as the cowherd boy in Vrindavana. That is also Krishna. And the analogy says that is the Lord Sun planet. So all the three features are within Krishna. Now you decide what you want to worship. If you want to worship the impersonal form, please feel free to do so. But if you want to worship the personal form, which Krishna says in Gita, is the intelligent way of doing so, he is Bhagwan for all of us. What does Bhagwan stand for? Bhag means opulence and Van means possessor. It can be true for any word. You take Balwan, he is full of strength. Bhagyavan, he is full of bhagya. Dhanavan, he is full of dhana, Aishwarya. So, this is the meaning of Bhagwan. And Parashur Muni has defined Bhagwan in Vishnu Purana as he says he has six opulences in full. No one in this world can have these as Bhagwan has. What is the first one? He says Aishwarasya, all riches. Sec- Second is Samagrasya, he is all complete. There is nothing in him which is incomplete. Viryasya, all strength. Yasasaha, all fame. Kriya, all beauty. Jnana Vairagyuschaiva Sannam Bhaga Itingana, all knowledge. So this is Bhagavan. If you understand, now there are many people who have, oh, I believe in Brahmajyoti, I believe, the Jnanis say, I believe in Paramatma, and we as devotees of Krishna say he is Bhagavan. Krishna is telling us he is all the three. You decide what you want to worship him as. Let's go to the next verse. Klaibhyam asmagama partha naitattvai upapadyate Rudram Hridaya Dhaurbalyam Yaktavotis Parantapa. So in this word, Krishna continues chastising Arjuna. He says, and he is using very strong words, Rudram, Klaipyam. He says, Masma Gamapa. Do not yield to this weakness, Klaipyam. Where has this weakness come in from you, into you? You are considered to be the world's greatest archer, but I see you as a weak person in this situation. You are overcome, overwhelmed by cowardice. He says, Vibim is such a strong word. It's not just weakness. He says, I would rather be calling you as impotent. It stands for impotence. Where has this come into you? Because this does not befit you. You should not be defeated by such weakness. Shudram, Naitatvi Upadite. This does not befit you. Shudram means low grade. It is the lowest set of qualities that you can find in a human being. And as a Kshatriya, why are you behaving like a Shudra? Why is this weakness? Why is this Hrudaya Daurbalyam? Why is the weakness of heart which cannot withstand the strong negative emotions that have overcome you? I expect something better from you. Kyakya parantapa. Give it up and arise, awaken. A very strong word, parantapa. Krishna is using this word parantapa, where he's asking Arjuna, you are known as parantapa. What is the meaning of parantapa? Oh, chastiser of the enemy. You create fear in the heart of enemy when you're on the battlefield. And how can you be overcome with this negative emotions? And the second meaning is one who performs excellent penance. So this is your credentials. And why are you going through this situation? Now, as I said, every word has a reason for being mentioned here. Why is he referring to impotence? He could have used any other word to chastise Arjuna. No. Now, let's go back to the story when Arjuna really led the life of an inenge as a transgender. He was in the Adhyatwasa when they had to remain in exile for 1 year. He had to serve as Brahmanala, as a transgender in King Virata's kingdom. There, he called himself Brahmanala and then he became the music teacher of King Virat's daughter, Uttara, and he spent that 1 year in exile successfully. Even as an eunuch, Arjuna was known for his victory and strength. It so happened that the Kauravas realized that King Virata is now weak, so this is the best time to attack him. And they also had a doubt whether Pandavas are hiding there, so they attacked the kingdom. And Kichika, who was their most able soldier or most able leader, had just uh, died. So there was no one who could really replace him. At that time, King Virata says, "Oh, Uttar Kumara, you're my son. I want you to go and fight the Kauravas." Kumara was a good prince, but then he was not as chivalrous, as brave, as bold as a prince had to be. He said, "Oh, Bhronala, Arjuna, come with me. Let's go to the battlefield." He raced to the battlefield, saw the Kaurava army, saw the warriors in front of him, got afraid, and left the battlefield. That time, Bruhanala, that is Arjuna, as an eunuch, fought with the Kauravas successfully, and they had stolen all the cows from the kingdom and got them back to King Virata once again. This was the valor of Arjuna as a eunuch, as a person who is, as an eunuch, you don't expect all this. But Arjuna, even though he was in the role of Bruhanala, but he was Arjuna. And he had shown such courage at that time. Krishna is asking, why are you showing this weakness now? Let me translate full translation. O son of Pruta, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. So this Tyakya Uttista Parantapa is a very strong line in this verse. Now, he is being calling Krishna. Krishna calls Partha as, "Oh, son of Pruta." I will give a quick summary of why is this. We all know it, but let's refresh. Now, Pruta is Kunti. Kunti is the sister of Vasudeva. Krishna is the son of Vasudeva. And Arjuna is the son of Kunti. That's why he is called as Partha. So Krishna has a special relationship with Arjuna. He is a relative, plus he's a teacher, guide, mentor, spiritual master, and also a dear friend. And that's the reason why Krishna is using these strong words to try and mend Arjuna. He says, "You are a Kshatriya. How can you decline war?" And in this verse, he is using these three strong words, Klaibyam, Kudra, Hrudaya Daurbalyam. Where has this come in from? You must come out of this position. We go to the next verse. Arjuna Uvacha, Katham Bhishmam Aham Sankye, Dronam Cha Madhusudana, Isubi Pratyotsyami, Puja Ahar Harisudana. Hmm. So if you see in this verse, there are very poetic rhyming words being used. It says Madhusudana, Harisudana. In a poem, you always find the interest is, can I have rhyming words? And we see Madhusudana and Harisudana very nicely coming into this verse. So Arjuna is now, after having been censured so strictly by Krishna, wants to respond. He says, "Oh Krishna, it is not that I am overcome by weakness. I want to tell you what is going on in my mind. Please listen." He says, "Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe." He says, how can I counter Bhishma, my revered grandfather? Dronam cha Madhusudana, my teacher, my guru. Oh Madhusudana, you are the killer of Madhu. Don't you understand this? Isubi pratyothyami. How can I fight with throwing arrows, shooting arrows at them? I don't want to do this. This is like a series of rhetorical questions. In the earlier verse, Krishna had asked, Kutatva Kashmalam idam, where has this impurity come in from you, within you? Now, Drona Arjuna respond by saying, Isubi pratyotsyami. How do you expect me to shoot arrows? How do you expect me to shoot arrows at my own grandfather and my teacher? Puja aharav harisudana. They are worthy of my worship. I should be offering flower garlands to them. They are my elders. How do you want me to fight with them? And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that the general etiquette for youngsters is whatever the superiors, elders do, please do not enter into a fight with them, verbal fight with them, because of their position. And Arjuna is asking Krishna, when I have been brought up in this culture of respecting my elders, how do you expect me to fight with them? Let's look at the full translation. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counterattack with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? That is the question that Arjuna is posing to Krishna. Now, when he says Arisudana, when he says Madhusudana, the Acharyas explain that Arjuna is thinking in his mind, Oh Krishna, I know you are the killer of demon, but would you have killed your own guru, Sandipani Muni, when you are asking me to raise arrows against my guru, Dronacharya? That's why he's calling him Madhusudana, Harisudana. The second question is, would you have aimed arrows at your own grandfather, Ugrasena, like you're asking me to raise arrows against my grandfather, Bhishma? This is the background conversation that is going on in Arjuna's mind. And he's asking Krishna sincerely, Oh Krishna, please help me. I'm not able to understand. I'm confused. Let's go to the next verse. Guru nahatvahi mahanubhavan Shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyam apiha loke Atvarta tu gurun ihaiva bhunjiya bhogan sudhira pradikpan. Arjuna is continuing his argument why I cannot fight. He says, Gurun ahatva hi mahanubhavan. Without killing my spiritual teacher, who are great personalities, they are respected, revered, experienced, wise, noble souls. They are mahanubhavan. And superiors are always respectable. Shreyo bhoktum bhikhyam apiha loke. This is a very interesting word. Bhoktum bhikhyam. It is saying, I want to enjoy my begging. This is an oxymoron phrase in English. Can anyone enjoy by begging? It is contradicting. But Arjuna is telling Krishna, Bhoktum bhikhyam piha loke. Instead of what, and then he's also using this word Shreyo. He has used this word earlier too. What will be the long time good for me if I kill my own relatives and that too so revered people in my life, in my family? Mm. And he says, Pihaloke, it is better to live by begging. Apihaloke means in this material world. I don't want to fight with them and I would rather do begging. And if you were to take an example of, can you give me another example of an oxymoron phrase? Bhoktum bhaikshyam. Enjoy by begging. It, couple of words come to my mind. It's like saying silent scream. How can scream be silent? Paper towel. How can towel be a paper? So the contradiction is in the word itself. Bhoktum bhaikyam. How can I enjoy by begging is the question that we will have when we listen to this line. Tatvartha kamans tu gurun ihaiva. He says, Artha kamans. Now, I agree that there is no benefit for me either in the short term or in the long term, and that is the reason for my confusion. Artha kamans tu gurun ihaiva. Artha kamans means these people are commercial minded. I agree. You imagine the intelligence of Arjuna. He tells they are Arthakamans, both Drona and Bhishma, for whatever reasons, are supporting Adharma. They are working for financial gains. And if you look at Drona, what did he do? Drona was in financial difficulty, so Drona was adopted by the Kuru Vamsh, and he said, "Okay, I will be your teacher. I will teach your entire princess, the warfare arc. So they gave him a salary. So his life was stable. His son Ashwatthama was a close friend of Duryodhana. He had great enmity against Arjuna. So father and son, both because of commercial reasons, Tamans were on the side of Kauravas. Arjuna knows this. He says that. Going further in Mahabharata, even Bhishma once said, everyone in this world is a servant of money. Can you imagine a statement coming like this from Bhishma, the most respected person on earth? But he says, I have bound myself to Kauravas, knowing fully well that they're on the side of Adharma, because I have taken a vow to protect the throne of Kauravas. So I cannot go against my own vow. So knowing fully well that they are on the side of commercials, they are financially driven, even though they are my relatives, they are on the opposite side in the battlefield. Punja Bhogan Rudira Pradikpan. I know this. And why only this uh, kingdom? I am not going to be happy even if I get a kingdom which is enjoyed by all the what is this? Yes. Punjya Bhogan Rudira Pradikpan. 1 second. Let me. Winning a kingdom through such actions would mean enjoying pleasure tainted with the blood of my relatives, and I don't want to do that. This is where Arjuna is coming for, and his arguments are looking stronger than ever. Let's look at full translation. He says, it would be better to live in this world by begging, bhoktam bhaikshyam, than to live at the cost of the life of great souls who are my teachers, Mahanubhavan. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So just imagine he is talking with full awareness and his arguments are stronger than ever. He is not just emotional, he is still having his power of discrimination. Now comes the 2.6 verse where this is the fifth reason for Arjuna saying that I don't want to fight. Let's go to the verse. Na chaita vidma katara no gariyo. Yadva jayema yadiva no jayeyu. Yan eva hatvana jijivisama devastita pramukhe datarastaha. So this is where he is now clearly saying that I am confused. I am not able to decide. Please tell me what to do. Na chaita vidma kataran no gariyo. I am confused and I am undecided. I do not know which is the better option. Yadva jayema yadivo no jayeyu. Whether I should win or let them win. Normally, if you are in a battlefield, nobody has such confusion. You are there in the battle to fight. But Arjuna is overwhelmed by compassion. He's not able to decide what is the right thing to do. I know I want to win, but I don't want the cost of killing my own relatives. Then he explains the reason why I don't want this victory. Yaneva Hatvana Jiji Visamas. He says, if we kill them who are my relatives, Devastita Pramukhe Dastrashtaha. We will be winning, but that victory will be hollow because it is tainted by the blood of my own near and dear ones. And he is not addressing Duryodhana, he's saying Dhartarashtra, which is showing that he is overwhelmed by the family connections. It is not just about Duryodhana, who is there in the battlefield opposite me. I have to look at the entire familial relationship, and that is why I am overwhelmed. I am undecided. I cannot decide whether I should fight or not. I don't know whether this victory is sweeter than the tainted blood of my relatives. This or that. That is my confusion. Let's look at the full translation. He says, nor do we know which is better, conquering or being conquered by them. We should not care to live, yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Now, I will explain to you what is the confusion in Arjuna's mind. Let's go through step by step. So you will understand how intricate is his position. Shall I fight? The answer is yes. Will I get victory? That's the question. You will only know after you win the war or if you fight the battle. Let's say I get victory. His dilemma, but my relatives will get killed. Whole question is coming down to this. If I kill my relatives, Arjuna is very clear in his mind, I will not be happy. Then why should I fight the war? That's the question. Will I get victory? Let's say I get defeated. Will I be happy? No, I will not be happy because I'll have to live by begging. Now, let's say I decide I don't want to fight. Let's say no. Then I have to live by begging. Will there be enjoyment? No enjoyment. So, this is the kind of intricate dilemma that Arjuna is going through. But in these verses, if we were to cull out, if we were to distill the wisdom, we can understand that Arjuna is a devotee. Why? Because he is highly enlightened. He is quoting from the scriptures. He says, I have to respect elders, oh Krishna. How do you want me to fight with them? He has excellent control of mind and senses, even though we see him in a mood of weakness, of having tears in his eyes. And faith in Krishna. That is the most important learning for all of us. We should turn to the divine whenever we have a problem in this life. So, what does Gita do? From here on, the journey starts. Whenever we are in confusion, if you surrender to Krishna, we should be sure, should be confident that there will be resolution of our problems. Once the problem, the dilemma is sorted out, we are elevated to the next level of higher thinking. We are pure, and that leads to liberation. So this is the journey of Gita, and that's what we are trying to do, following the path of Arjuna. And what is Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is a manual of life. It is the Google Maps. We are all technology driven today. It takes us in the right direction. It's like a compass. It tells us which is the true north. So this is what we should be taking home as learning. Let's go to the next verse. Most important verse where now Arjuna is saying, I accept you as my guru. कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभावः पश्यामि त्वां धर्म समुदशेतः यच्छ्रेयस्यान् निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्ते हमसादि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. This Mam Tvam Prapannam is the most important line or the verse, the line in this verse where Arjuna says, I am surrendering unto you. And if we can surrender to Krishna, that's when the learning starts. Without surrender, there is no learning. The essence of learning starts from this word. Karpanya doto pahata svabhavaha. Karpanya means miserliness. Dosha is fault, weakness. Upahata, afflicted. From where did this come from? Svabhava, your own nature, your disposition. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, my nature is afflicted by parpanya, miserliness, weakness. Pachami tvam dharma samujasetaha. I don't know what is the right thing to do. I am bewildered. Dharma samudasetaha. I don't know what is the right path, what right step to take to uphold dharma. Yat shreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me. Bruhitan me means please tell me nishchitam for sure. Yat shreyasyan, what is the highest good for me? Sishyaste hamtadi mam tvam prapannam. I am now your disciple. Please instruct me. Mam tvam prapannam. I am surrendering unto you. If we can come to this level of Arjuna, the humility, even though he is the greatest archer, he is telling Krishna, I am surrendering to you. Let's look at the full verse. Now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of my miserly weakness. Karpanya dosho pahata. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple, and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. Three most important learnings in this verse. He says, Krishna, I am your disciple. Please instruct me. I surrender to you. There is a nice analogy given by Srila Prabhupada in this verse. He says, this material perplexity that Arjuna is going through is like a forest fire. Both material perplexity and forest fire are beyond our control. Can anyone say that there should be no forest fire anywhere in this world? It is not in our hands. Can anyone say that I should not be overcome by emotions like Arjuna? No, it is not in our hands. In the Bhudaranyaka Upanishad, Srila Prabhupada says the definition of Krupana is given. He is a miser. Person who wastes the human form of life is known as a Krupana. And Prabhupada highlights that we should not be a Krupana. We should not be afflicted by the attachment to the family, like Arjuna is. Attachment to the family is like a skin disease. And what is the problem with the skin disease? There are two policies which happen. One is you think you can look after the family and save them. Another, you think the family will save you in your old age. Both are not true. Both are illusions. Who says, come out of this skin disease? What you should be, you should not be a Kripana, you should be a Brahmana. Who is a Brahmana? One who uses intelligence to solve real problems of life. What is the solution? Approach a spiritual master, as Arjuna did, in the right mood. He was not willing to even consider his friendship come in the way. He was humble enough to say that I am surrendering you unto you, Krishna. Mam Tvam Prapanam. Please instruct me. Let's look at the next verse where Arjuna completely again firms his faith in Krishna. He says, Nahi prapashyami mama apanudyat yat shokam uttoshanam indriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnam buddham Rajyam Suranam Apitadipatyam. He says, I will be haunted by emptiness if I were to fight and succeed. Nahi prapashyami mama panudyan. I do not see any way, O Krishna. I I I am depending on you to show me what is the right solution because I know my material thinking is not leading me to there. Yet shokam uttosanam indriyanam. I want to be free from this grief. I want to be free from this tear which is drying up my senses. Avapya bhuma vasapatnam ruddham. Even if I were to obtain a magnificent kingdom across the entire earth, Rajya Suranam Apichadipatyam, even if it were to be like Devaloka, which is where the Devatas reside, I will not be happy. Please help me. Translation, I can find no means to dry away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I win a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. Rajyam Suranam Api Chadya Patyam. I don't want, I will not be happy. The learning in this verse, if you want to avoid lamentation, you have to take shelter of Krishna. That is what Arjuna is trying to do. Till Prabhupada in the verse says, if you have to choose your guru, there are two guidelines. The guru should be from the parampara. We all know that there are many godmen in this world today who attract people by their magnetic personalities, great way of speaking, but we must always apply this guideline saying that easy from the parampara. And the guru must be a pure devotee. It says in this, a pure devotee cannot for a moment forget the Lord. And similarly, the Supreme Lord cannot forget his pure devotee for a moment. So this is the bonding that the Guru should have with Krishna. Only choose such a person as your spiritual master. Let's go to the next verse. Arjuna reiterates his resolve not to fight till he is convinced. He says, now the let's read this verse and then I'll tell you. Sanjay Uvacha Evam Muktva Hrushikesham Gudakesha Parantapaha Na Yotsa iti Govindam Uktva Tusnim Babuvaha. So he says, you can see the word Parantapa. So we have seen this word earlier in 2.2 also. Now the Gita has shifted again from action to narration. From Arjuna Vacha, we have moved to Sanjaya Vacha. And he says, you see, there are number of names being used for Krishna. Ruchikesha, Govindam, and for Arjuna, Gudakesha, Parantapa. So there is a reason for this. Evam Uktva, after having spoken such, Hushikesham, whenever you see against Hushikesha is the name. If you say Hushikesham, then it means the object of action. He is the one being addressed. By whom? Gudakesha, Parantapa. You know, these are the names of Arjuna. So Arjuna speaks to Krishna. And we know Parantapa is the chastiser of enemy. And even in 2.3, the same word Parantapa was used because Krishna said, you are the killer of enemies. You should rise above and fight. Sanjaya is also using the same word to describe Arjuna. Na yotsa iti govindam. He says, I will not fight, O Govinda. Uktva tusnim babuvaha. And Arjuna fell silent. So this is the conclusion of his argument. So I will not fight, O Govinda. Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Now, in 1.46, also Arjuna said, Visridya Shastaram Chapam Toka Samvigna Manasaha. He put his bow and arrow down and he says, I don't want to fight. Now, again, in this word, he is saying the same thing. Na yotsaiti govindam ukpatusnim babuvaha. I don't want to fight. Acharya described there is a subtle change in the two instances, similar words, similar description, but difference in interpretation. When he said this, Visridya Sacharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasa in 1.46, that was when he was using, Arjuna was using his own intelligence to say that, oh, Krishna, I don't want to fight because I don't want to kill my relative. In 2.9, you see 9 verses later, he says, Na Yotsa iti Govindam. Now he's using this address to the Lord saying that, I don't want to fight, O Govinda. I want your guidance. Uktum tusnim bhuvaha. And he fell silent. So in 1.46 and in 2.9, there is a huge change. That is, Arjuna is moving from using his intelligence to surrender in 2.9. He says, you tell me, Govinda, what should I do? I want clarity. I want guidance. We come to the last verse of the day. Tam uvacha Hrushikeshaha prahasan eva bharata tenayor madhye visidantam idam vachaha. So this is another very important verse. Krishna, with a faint smile, begins speaking Gita in the middle of two armies. This is now we have seen the same lines, Visidantam idam vakyam vacha madhusudana, saying by Sanjay in 2.1. And now he's saying this, Visidantam idam vachaha. Let's go line by line. Tam vacha Hrishikesha. Tam refers to Arjuna. Hrishikesha. There it was Hrishikesham. Here it is Hrishikesha. It is referring to Krishna. Whenever now he is the doer and Arjuna is the receiver. So Arjuna, Krishna spoke to Arjuna. Tam vacha Hrishikesha. Prahasan eva bharata. Prahasan is a very interesting word. Krishna appeared to be smiling. He had a faint smile on his lips. Eva Bharata. Now you'll be wondering, Arjuna is in fear. We have seen he is overcome by emotions. And Krishna, as he starts speaking, is having a smile on his face. Why? Very interesting. Acharya described Arjuna has one of the credentials of being the greatest archer, close friend of Krishna. From that position, Arjuna has moved to become a disciple. He's moved to saying that I surrender to Krishna, Mam Tvam Prapannam. You please tell me what I should do. Krishna is saying, my goodness, how fast things are changing. I know Arjuna in that position. Now Arjuna has come to this position. He's saying, you please guide me what I should do. So this is why the reason why Parahasam Iva Bharata. He starts talking with a faint smile, like smiling on his lips. Senayor ubhayor madhye, in the midst of two armies, Vishidantam idam vachaha. He starts speaking. What he says, we will see from the next verse. And I will just spend another minute. We'll read the translation and also understand the importance of Senayor Ubiyor Madhye. Just look like three words in the midst of both armies, but it has a huge, deep philosophical understanding. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. This is the translation of this verse. And I told you, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. What does it mean? Yes, literal meaning in the midst of two armies. And we have seen this being used continuously. In 1.21, Arjuna says, Senayor Ubhayor Madhye. When he says this here, it means it's just like small instruction. Take me to the railway station. It's like Arjuna is asking Krishna, oh Arjuna, Krishna, please take me to the middle of the two armies. It's a very innocent statement. In 1.24, there is again the same verse. It says, Senayorubhayor madhye Satitva Radhottamam. Again in 2.10, Senayorubhayor madhye Visidantam idam vachaha. The Acharyas explain that these three words have to be understood as Krishna is about to speak the wisdom of Gita to Arjuna, and he is not speaking to him in a classroom. He is not speaking to him in a Gurukula. He's not speaking to him in a silent place where it's only between him and Arjuna. He is speaking this wisdom amidst the two armies on the battlefield. What does it mean? It means universal knowledge, and it is meant for the entire humanity. That is the essence of this word, Senayor Ubayor Madhye. With that, I come to the end of the 10 verses, and as said, we will go to the quiz. I hope you all had a good listening. And now let's test how much you can recall by answering these questions. Prabhuji, shall we go ahead?
Yes,
First
Prabhu.
question.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Why did Arjuna put down his bow and sit on the chariot? This is a multiple choice question. First, he is not capable of defeating Kaurava. B, he does not want to kill his teachers and relatives, as it is of no good. Third choice, he thinks Pandava army is inferior to Kauravas and wants Krishna to fight in the war. D, he did not see Karna among the Kaurava army.
Okay.
Which is the right
The
answer?
first hand raised was Chetana. No answers on the chat, please. One has to raise the
Don't
hand.
give the answer on the chat. This is the quiz question.
Yeah, no answering on the chat. So Chetana has raised her hand first.
Okay.
So we'll give a chance to
Hare
her first.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The answer would be the B option. He does not want to kill his bandhu bandhava. Does not want to kill his teachers and his relatives,
Perfect.
as
That
it will
is
do
the right
him.
answer. I will show you the answer. Oh, well, it is there. The answer refuses to come on the screen. Yes, answer is B. Well
Wonderful.
done, Chetana. We go to the next question.
So she gets 50 brownie points.
Brownie
Chetana gets.
points. So she is the first to score the boundary today. Let's go to
Yes.
the next question. What is the meaning of Kripana? This is a
Just
slightly
one
easier question.
clarification. Just one clarification. So we continue the same way. The wrong answers will have negative, and the correct answers will have positive. Correct.
Yes.
So wrong answers. If somebody has raised their hand and then they cannot back out, they have to answer. And then if the answer is wrong, they get -50. So think carefully before raising your hand also. Okay. Now the second question comes there. Yes, Prabhu. Go ahead.
What is the meaning of Kripana? I see Anusha has raised her hand.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Let the options come. Then you can raise the hand.
No, this is not a multiple choice question.
I
This is
thought
a
it was
direct
not
answer.
an MCQ. I thought it was a direct question.
Okay.
Yes, it's a direct question. There is no multiple choice in this.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then
So,
Anusha has raised her hand first.
Kripana, you had mentioned that a person who wastes this human form of life is
Perfect.
Kripana.
Yes, that's the right answer. Miserly waste the human form of life. So I have mixed slightly tricky questions with easy questions so that it becomes interesting to our all. Well
Miserly would
done.
have been, miserly would have been even more perfect, in my opinion. But okay, we'll give the marks to her.
Yes. What is the material compassion compared to in Bhagavad-Gita 2.1 verse? This is a multiple choice question, slightly tricky. Listen carefully. Fire covered by smoke, saving the dress of a drowning man, killing the demon of misunderstanding. All of these.
All right. I think Ramesh and Chetna raised at the same time, very close. So maybe we give it to Ramesh this time.
Yes,
Ramesh ji.
Ramesh.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. B.
Hare Krishna.
Saving the dress of a drowning.
Perfect. That's the right answer. Well
Good.
done, Ramesha. Keep it up. We go to the next quick question. What are the two meanings of Parandapa? Again, now this is a direct question. This is not a multiple choice.
Okay. So Anusha has raised her hand already. So we give a chance to her first.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Meaning number one, the one who creates fear in the heart of the enemies. And meaning number two is one who performs excellent penance, as described in the class. Hare Krishna.
Perfect. That's the right answer. Well done.
Very good.
So with this, we have come to the end of the quiz session. And now we start with the participative learning, immersive learning. What is the reflection? What is the self-learning?
Prabhu, just 1 minute. Just
Yes.
1 minute. So I missed something here. Chetna, there were 5 questions, right? Quiz mein.
Yes. Yes.
So Anusha got 2 questions right. Ramesh ji got 1 question right. So 2 plus 1, 3. Then Chetna got 1 question right. And who got the fifth question? I mean, the fifth question right? I missed that. Who are the people who answered correctly? Does anybody remember? So there were 5 questions.
Ramesh,
Anusha 2, Ramesh 1, Chetna 1.
who
Who
answered
was,
the fifth one?
no, in the sequence, fifth was Anusha.
Hmm.
But I'm saying overall, Anusha got 2 rights, Ramesh got
Correct.
1 right, and Chetna got 1 right. So that makes it 4.
Who is the fifth?
So were there 5 questions, or was it
Prabhuji, have you asked? I beg your pardon.
yeah, I
Have you
think
asked the
probably
Or
it was four
maybe I have
questions. Yeah,
numbered them wrongly. There are
yeah.
4 questions. I have typed. So,
Yeah, that's what I thought.
so that's
That's
a
what I
good quiz here. So there are
So
only
I,
four
I
questions.
get 50%.
Yes.
प्रभु जी क्या googly फेंका आपने यार? This is a real googly.
So yeah, you are trying to find who is the fifth when there is no fifth question itself. So there are only
That's what.
4 questions.
Yes. Okay, that's
So
clear. Now you can go to the next part, bro. Learnings.
yes. Now this is like from the last session we started where we want to invite participation. We want to invite reflections. So what we will do the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, take your time. because after this, I have only 5 minutes to just summarize. You can WhatsApp to me, or you can put it on the chat, or you can say that one by one, whatever comes to your mind. What did you learn from this first 10 verses? So we want this learning to be internalized. When you reflect, when you introspect, and whatever you find is your learning, that's the best form of keeping it with you, taking it away as, yes, this is what I have gained from the session today. What comes to your mind? What is the top learning? And feel free to raise hands and or put it on the chat, whatever is convenient. Who would like to go first? Yes, Chetana.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you have repeated it several times during your session today. You've repeated it a few times. The ultimate surrender, sharanagati to the Almighty, not only in times of difficulty, but complete surrender, so that we know that He has our back throughout our life, not only in
Excellent.
times of difficulty, but also to help us go through this, life, um, uh, staying connected to Him, and not losing our cool, not losing our patience, uh, not being depressed by all the, life is not easy. So, not being depressed by whatever comes out, by any difficulties that come our way, and uh, the thinking that uh, Prabhu, Prabhu Shri Krishna always has our, uh, he has our back, so to speak.
Very good, Mataji. Very good. So I would request you to put this in the Gita Amrutam group also, so that we can summarize all the reflections that have come, and then I will share mine so that we will see how many of us are thinking the same. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Excellent. And this is what you will find in my summary too. So well done. Anyone else would like to go through? And I will also keep seeing that on the group if there are any questions or learning. There's nothing on the group.
There's one hand raised. Anjali has raised her hand.
Please go ahead, Anjali. Once again.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have a question. Prabhuji, you have said that family attachment is referred to as skin disease. Can you please explain once again that?
Uh, can I suggest one thing? We will go
Yeah.
to the question and answer after this session.
Okay.
So you hold the question, I will answer this question. Now,
Okay.
this is purely your learning, which you think if you have something to share, please feel free. So next 5-10 minutes, we are going to do this, and then I'll come to question answer.
For my learning today, I have learned that whatever confusions I have, the best person to approach is our Guru, our Shiksha Guru, and our Guru, and they will, with the keeping mind, Krishna is in the center, they will guide us how to proceed. I'll
Perfect.
follow that. Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. So I'll definitely answer your question after this session. Prabhuji, are you keeping a watch on the time?
Yes, Prabhu, we have crossed 10 minutes beyond 8.
So should we wait or I wrap up the learnings?
Yeah, I
Hare
think
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. It was a wonderful discourse on these 10 slokams of the second chapter. Well, to me, the 10 slokams, they are actually, we as human beings will always have problems and be in a quandary in life. So what Arjuna and Shri Arjuna and Shri Krishna, their conversation actually, which reveals to us is that we have to think deeply and release ourselves from the fear. Now, how do we release it? It is by thinking deeply, complete surrender to that power which is above us, and here it is Sri Krishna, and who will show us the light. So it is complete surrender, it is deep thinking and understanding that one is not in complete power. So discrimination, that comes from surrender and follow the Guru, and the Guru will show us the light. That is what I learned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Very well said.
So maybe you can go for your summary.
Summary. Yeah. So I will now see. This is the first time we are doing this. I'm sure as we go along, more people will have learnings to share. And I will now just summarize. So thank you for all the participants who came up and spoke about their learnings. Thank you very much. Now, if I were to summarize, I also have the same thing to say. Let me. First learning is seek guidance, take shelter. We don't have answers to all questions. We are all, we have depression, heartbreak, criticism, failure, anxiety, rejection, overthinking, whatnot. Whenever we are faced with these problems, which is most of the times we do face these problems, take shelter of Guru and take shelter of scriptures, because there are many times I have found this question: where do I find a Guru? How do I find a Guru? If we are not able to find one, the easiest thing that we can do is open the Gita at home and start listening to them. Every verse, every line, every word is a lesson to us. And make the judicious choice. Don't go after this godmen who are so frequently available. Try to find a guru from the parampara. And our guru should have Madhusudana, that is clear of doubts capabilities, and Hrishikesha, master of mind and senses. And this can come only when he is from the parampara and he is completely surrendered to Krishna. Surrender is something which is very easily spoken, but very difficult to understand and even more difficult to implement. Without humility, there can be no surrender. How many of us have got the capability in us to stand up and say, I did not understand. Can you please explain? Most of the times we don't do this. And we always feel that I know everything. I will find the solution. I will do it myself. No. If you are humble, you should surrender to the Lord, surrender to the Guru and say, I don't know. Please help give me the right path. Balance compassion with duty. All of us are compassionate by nature. We feel moved when we see a lot of sufferings in this world. But we should always remember balance compassion with duty. I remember one of the episodes when it was described, Prabhupada, he always used to say that, you should not give alms to beggars. Yes, this is one guideline. Once they were visiting a temple and he saw, very old beggar, and he was in real need, pleading for help. And we all followed what Guru said. You should not give alms to people because we don't know what's their background, how they are going to use their alms. And then the darshan was complete. Then Prabhupada came back and said, please don't take this so seriously. Yes, you have done your duty of not trying to give alms to the wrong people, but at the same time, your heart should melt when you see a person crying for help. So this is the fine balance. We should do our duty. At the same time, we should not lose our compassion. Manage your emotions. Every human being is emotional, but we must have clarity of purpose. If I were to say, I will uphold dharma, that's what Krishna tells Arjuna, then we will be able to manage our emotions well. Be a sadhaka. Conquer our sleep and ignorance by referring to scriptures. Every line, every word will give us the direction in this difficult situation. And pray when life is great, pray when life is tough. Prayers are our constant companion. Krishna is our perfect friend. He has an answer for all our problems. Never ever tell Krishna how big your problem is. Just tell the problem how big Krishna is. And then, if this plays, let me see.
वासुदेव कृष्ण नाम है मेरा जो मुझ पर अपना अधिकार मान लेता है मैं स्वयं पर उसका अधिकार मान लेता वासुदेव कृष्ण
So, Krishna himself says, if you come in my shelter, seek my shelter, I give you my shelter. And the biggest learning is how do we be humble? I found this very interesting. Whenever we go to a temple and the doors are closed, we can't see the Lord until these doors are open. What is the symbolic significance? Two doors refer to stand for I and mine. The moment you remove those, only then you can see the Lord. That is giving up your ego. That is when the surrender starts. Thank you very much. These were my learnings. And Prabhuji, if you now this is the Q&A time, and I already have a question from Anjali Mataji. Shall I answer that, Prabhuji?
Yeah, just before you answer, just wanted to add just 2 points. First of all, wonderful session that you have enlightened so many points from verses 1 to 10. And this discussion on parampara, when we select a guru, I just wanted to add that it should be a bona fide parampara, because there are also some paramparas. Parampara meaning disciplic succession, but they are not bona fide. I mean, there is a guideline of who is bona fide and who is not bona fide. If you attach yourself to a parampara who is not bona fide, then they also go to hell, and the disciples also, along with them, go to hell. Correct me if I'm wrong, Prabhu. So
Yes,
that's why we
Prabhuji.
always say
Perfect.
bona fide parampara. And
Right.
the second point was when we, there's normally a compassion when we see the beggars on the streets. We want to give them some money, alms, as you rightly said. So why Prabhupada actually cautioned was the reason was because suppose if your alms that you give is misused by them. For example,
Yes.
you give them 10 rupees and they use it for say smoking, or maybe drinking alcohol or whatever, then we are facilitating their adharmic acts, and then we also partake in that act, so we are also getting implicated. So at the same time, there has to be compassion to the beggars when we see, because they are deprived, they are not having. So best thing to do is, in the circumstances, always carry some Krishna
Good
prasadam
idea.
where we travel, and
Yes.
we feed their belly. So, for example, if you are in the temple and we buy some samosas, please lavishly give them some samosas, or you give them something else with fruits, which they will not throw because they are hungry. So, then in that way, what happens is we are taking care of their belly also. At the same time, we are giving them sanctified food or prasad, so that they don't misuse it. So that way we can balance their quest versus our desire of compassion to help them. So these 2 points I just wanted to add. And the third thing I wanted to state was, I think there might be many people who wanted to probably share their learnings. So they are free to put it on the Gitamritam Rasamalayam chat after the class, either today or even tomorrow also. And feel free to put. It's not that one answer is going to be the perfect answer. Krishna is unlimited, so therefore, the thoughts can be also unlimited. So think in your own way, in the natural circumstances, what this 10 verses you have learned today, and then put it in simplified language, not very long essay, but maybe just about 3 to 4 lines, so that we can also imagine that perspective of the person, which we may have probably missed. So that is what I would say. Now maybe you can take that question of Anjali Kulkarni before we wrap up.
Thank you, Prabhuji. And whatever you have said makes perfect sense to bona fide parampara. And whenever we give alms to anyone who is in need, we must be cautious that they don't misuse it. And the best answer is try and give them prasad, sanctified prasad, so that they are also liberated. Now, if I were to answer Anjali Mataji's question, you said skin disease. Why is attachment to family known as skin disease? And there are two parts to that skin disease. One is you think as the head of the family that I will save my family against all difficulties. And another expectation is the family will help me when I'm in trouble. Now, what is the fallacy in this? What is the weakness in this? Is it's an illusion. The more you're attached to the family, the less you have time to look at Krishna. Who is our family? Who is our Sanatana? Who is our father? Who is our grandfather? Who is our teacher? It is Krishna. So we must always keep Krishna ahead, Krishna in the center, and then attach ourselves to the family. The understanding should be very clear that it is Krishna who is going to take care of me, and Krishna is going to take care of the entire family. Whatever position I may be in, I am only his servant, trying to do my job with his blessing. That should be the underlying principle. Does it make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If there are any other questions, please feel free. If not, we can close the
Yeah,
session.
I